Hey, it's Matt, your average gamer, and for this video, we have 9 more fun and powerful builds. Most of these, once again, were requested by you guys. Can't wait to jump into these. At number 9, we're going to start with Wall of Sparks. This is going to be a build for the perfume bottle, the lightning one. This is actually pretty cool. Doesn't do a ridiculous amount of damage, but it's really fun to use. I hope everybody that's watching this video is having an absolutely amazing day. If you have any build requests, don't forget to comment them below. I love doing these. These have been a lot of fun lately. This is one of the requested ones. Now, the perfume bottles did see some substantial nerfs shortly after DLC was released. They're still very much usable, and I feel like they do fit a lightning build, which is what I did here, a lightning build and perfume bottle mix. They're certainly better as a secondary weapon for sure now. They're not going to be something you're going to main all the time, especially after they were pretty much nerfed to the ground after DLC was released. Shortly after that, a couple weeks later, post-release, they did nerf these a lot. But again, one of those fun builds. I did rank these all in terms of power and the ones that are on here. So this is obviously number 9, probably the weakest of the bunch. But I had fun with it ultimately, and you can still make a decent build out of it. Let's jump into equipment. And we have the lightning perfume bottle with Wall of Sparks, plus 25. We have a backup broadsword. We can use that with Thunderbolt. We have the Gravelstone Seal. You can check out our armor set here. We have the lightning scorpion charm, Godfrey icon. We have Millicent's prosthesis for some extra dexterity and our backup weapon. We have the Shard of Alexander. And then for our tiers, we have the lightning tier, blood-sucking crack tier. Let's jump into stats. Stats for this cool combination build are 60 Vigor, 21 Mind, 23 Endurance, 12 Strength, 50 Dexterity, and 50 Faith. We're using Golden Vow, Hellish Fury, Blessings of the Erd Tree, Honed Bolt, and Knight's Lightning Spear. Next up here at number 8, we have a build for the Greatbow. This is one of my favorite ones on here because it was a lot of fun finally doing a build for the Greatbow. Now, in my offhand, I have the Lion's Greatbow for the passive boost. That's for Radahn's arrows. You get the passive boost if you have it in your left hand. And then we're maining, of course, the Greatbow. It does a decent amount of damage. We built around this pretty well, did some buffs and whatnot. It's not going to be useful for all bosses and situations, but it was really fun to build around this because I don't do a lot of bow builds. It's not something I do very often. Definitely check this one out if you're looking for something fun that's different and a little bit challenging. Let's jump into equipment and stats. And we have the Greatbow plus 25 preferably. Of course, we have Great Arrows and Radahn Spears. Radahn Spears are going to be boosted by the Lion's Greatbow in the offhand. Any seal for buffs. So you could check out our armor set here. It's one of my favorite that I like running. I like running that armor set. Arrow Sting Talisman, Arrow's Reach Talisman. We have the Sharp Shot Talisman. We have the Shard of Alexander. Green Burst Crystals here, Blood-Sucking Correct here. Let's jump into stats. We have 60 Vigor, 20 Mind, 28 Endurance, 35 Strength, and 35 Dexterity. It's a bit quality. We have 33 Faith, so we could use our buffs. We hit over 51 Poise. We're using Golden Vow, Blessing's Boon, and of course Hellish Fury for some extra damage. Another requested one is the Axe of Godrick. We have it number 7. This is a weapon I really don't like that much because you lack poise when you use its Ash of War. I've even tested this on a high-level character with like 100 poise, and you could still get knocked out of the Ash of War really easily. But there is some good things about this weapon. I like the jump attacks. I also like the charge attacks. They have a ton of reach. They tend to drag on the ground and have a good amount of reach in that regard. Overall, it's just an okay weapon to build around. By the time you get to later journeys, this is on Journey 3, if you get to New Game Plus 7, you're probably not going to be running this weapon, but it is fun to use and something interesting to look at and check out. Second here, we're going to jump into equipment, stats, and everything you need to know for an Axe of Godrick build. And we have the Axe of Godrick plus 10 preferably. We have any seal for buffs. We have part of the Rakshasa set and Gravebird chest piece on. We have the Shard of Alexander. We have the two-handed sword talisman, axe talisman, claw talisman, and then we're using the spike crack tier and blood-sucking crack tier. Let's jump into stats. And for stats, we have 60 Vigor, 19 Mind, 27 Endurance. This is a quality weapon. We have 40 Strength. That's going to be 60 when you two-hand this, 40 Dexterity, 25 Faith. We're using Golden Vow, Blessing's Boon, and Flame Grant Me Strength. And the next one up here we have is at number 6, we have a fire kicker build. It's going to be a flame art kicker build. We are using the dry leaf arts, the kicking version. This was another requested one. And of course, we're throwing in different incantations too, because you can do a lot with this one. Because we're using flame art, we have a decent amount of faith for this build. We have good faith scaling with the B on this as well. and you can throw in something like Catch Flame. I was using Light of Miquella too for fun. Doesn't really fit the build, but you can run a lot of incantations because we have high faith. This is definitely a fun one to try that'll give you a lot of variety. Let's jump into equipment stats, everything you need to know. We have Dane's Flame Art Footwork plus 25. We have the kicking version, of course, Dry Leaf Arts. We have any seal for buffs. You can check out our armor set. I ran that for most of the builds on here. Fire Scorpion Charm, Shattered Stone Talisman, Maleficent's Prosthesis, Shard of Alexander. Then we have the Flame tier, Bloodsucking Correct tier. Let's jump into stats. So for stats, we have 60 Vigor, 23 Mind, 26 Endurance, 12 Strength, 20 Dexterity. We have 75 Faith. See, we got a lot of faith here, so you got a lot to work with there. We have Golden Vow, Hellish Brewery, Catch Flame, Light of Miquella, and then we have, I believe, Flame Fall Upon Them. Yeah, I almost forgot what that one was called. At number 5, we have a Great Katana and Rakshasa build. Somebody requested another build for Stormblade, but I did one like a month or two ago. This is a Ash of War that I've covered a lot, so I'm just going to show it off here real quick. But mainly, I'm going to show off the dual-wielded version of using these two katanas together because they do a lot of physical damage and a decent amount of bleed build-up. That's going to be the Great Katana. Of course, in Keen Affinity, we run this as a Dex build with Blood Flame Blade. And then in the offhand, we have Rakshasa's Great Katana. These combine incredibly well together and give you a lot of physical damage, a lot of bleed build-up, all around very, very solid build. Definitely worth checking out. Some of the faster bosses, it's a little bit of a slower dual move set, but it is good if you can get the attacks in. We have the Keen Great Katana plus 25 with Stormblade. We're using Blood Flame Blade. Rakshasa's Great Katana, of course. We have the Dragon Communion Seal. We're using the Divine Beast Head for this one. Then we have the Enraged Divine Beast Talisman, Lord of Blood's Exaltation, Maleficent's Prosthesis. We have the Shard of Alexander. For our tiers, we have the Thorny tier and the Bloodsucking Crack tier. Let's jump into stats. And for stats on this one, and this is a really cool one to try out, 60 Vigor, 20 Mind, 30 Endurance, 19 Strength. We have 69 Dexterity apparently, 25 Faith. We're using Golden Vow, Flame Grant Me Strength, Blessing's Boon, and of course, Blood Flame Blade as well. And now we are on to number 4, and that's going to be the Fire Knight's Royal Knight's Resolve build. This was another requested one, checking out Royal Knight's Resolve, how much damage you can get with the Fire Knight's Greatsword. And there's almost 13,000 damage on a hit there. We're going to, of course, be using the Bloodsucking Crack tier and building up on those charged hits. But ultimately, this is a really good one to build around with Royal Knight's Resolve. You get a ton of AR and Flame Art with this weapon. And, of course, you get Pierce damage as well. This is one of my favorite weapons, probably one of the best weapons in the game now. And, of course, with Royal Knight's Resolve, this didn't take too many hits to take her down here, ultimately. Pierce damage. There you go, 13,000 damage again on the charged attacks, and a ton of fire damage in Flame Art. It has excellent faith scaling. It's truly an amazing faith weapon. Let's jump into equipment, stats, everything you need to know for a powerful Fire Knight's Greatsword build. And we have the Fire Knight's Flame Art Greatsword with Royal Knight's Resolve plus 25, of course. We have the Erdtree Seal. You can throw in some incantations if you want. We have the Gravebird chest piece on, part of the Rakshasa set. Fire Scorpion Charm, Axe Talisman, Two-Handed Sword Talisman, Claw Talisman. We have the Flame tier, Bloodsucking Crack tier. Let's jump into stats. And for stats, we have 60 Vigor, 21 Mind, 30 Endurance. We have 22 Strength, 18 Dexterity, 60 Faith. We hit 51 Poise. We're using Golden Vow, Blessing's Boon, and Flame Grant Me Strength as well. The next one on here at number 3, we have a build for the Wing of Astel. This was a requested one that didn't make my top list. One of the reasons it didn't is because it's mainly good for the bigger targets in the game, but it probably should have made that list at least somewhere inside the top 20, definitely top 25. This weapon is honestly pretty good. The Ash of War is pretty amazing. The Bastard Stars is sort of like it, but the Wing of Astel is better because you could stay in the same place and use Terra Magica, whereas the Bastard Stars moveset isn't nearly as good, and it also moves you forward frequently, so staying within the Terra Magica basically is almost impossible with the amount that weapon moves. Now, Wing of Astel itself, amazing scaling and intelligence. The Ash of War is going to scale purely with intelligence. You're going to get a ton of damage out of a weapon like this one. It is better than I remember it being. Haven't covered or gone over it in a while. For the couple people, because there was a couple of you that requested the Wing of Astel, yeah, it probably should have made my top 25 list, even on New Game Plus 7. This weapon is quite good. In a second here, we're going to go over equipment, stats, everything you need to know for a powerful Wing of Astel build. And we have the Wing of Astel plus 10 preferably. We have any staff for Terra Magica, any seal for buffs. You can check out our armor set here. We have the Magic Scorpion Charm. I'm using the Cerulean Amber Medallion +3, Millicent's Prosthesis for some extra dexterity, Shard of Alexander, Magic Tier, Bloodsucking Crack Tier. Let's jump into stats. And for stats, we have 60 Vigor, 22 Mind, 25 Endurance, 12 Strength, 23 Dexterity, 50 Intelligence, 33 Faith. We are using Golden Vow, Hellish Rebury, and of course Terra Magic as well to buff the Ash of War. And next up at number 2, we have a buffed build for the Darkmoon Greatsword. I did a buffed build list a while back. I think it was probably a couple weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. This weapon didn't make it on there. I believe this wasn't one of the ones that I ended up buffing. A couple people asked me for it, 12,000 damage there on the beam. I decided to buff it up. I'm going to go over the buffing order here in a little bit. This is going to be one of those ones that has a lot of buffs. Ultimately, though, they did nerf it, and it's not as good as it used to be. The damage has been reduced. The beam stance damage as well has also been reduced. We use Golden Vow and then Blessing Spoon. Then we're going to drink our tier, after which we're going to use Hellish Rebury. Then this is where this gets a little bit complicated and hard to remember. We are going to use the Deadly Perfume Bottle to poison proc with Kindred of Rot's Exaltation. Then we're going to put up Terra Magica. We're going to use the Ash of War on the Darkmoon Greatsword. We're going to stun him here. Then the Jellyfish Shield last. And then here we're going to get close to 7,000 damage on him. And it's not too bad, ultimately. You're going to get a decent amount of damage, but it isn't what it used to be. Once again, the beam damage, I believe, on 1.12 or 1.13 has been reduced, as well as the stance damage on the beams, too. But it's still pretty good. Darkmoon Greatsword +10. We have the Deadly Perfume Bottle. We have any staff for Terra Magic, any seal for buffs. We have the Jellyfish Shield, Divine Beast Helm, part of Rakshasa set. We have the Godfrey icon. It is chargeable. Magic Scorpion Charm, Shard of Alexander, Kindred of Rot's Exaltation, and then we have the Magic Tier, Bloodsucking Crack Tier, and we were using Margit Shackle there as well to stun the mini-boss. Let's jump into stats. And for stats, we have 50 Vigor, 19 Mind, 31 Endurance, 24 Strength, 16 Dexterity, 55 Intelligence. We have 33 Faith. We went over the buffing order here. We have 51 Poise. We're using Golden Vow, Hellish Rebury, Blessing Spoon, Terra Magica, and the Jellyfish Shield. Number 1, the best one on this list ended up being the Beast Claws with the Bloodsucking Crack Tier buffed up a little bit. We end up getting a ton of damage out of this build. I think you're going to be impressed with how this one comes out. Ultimately, with the Ash of War, we're able to do a ridiculous amount of damage testing this on Mesmer. And yeah, it's pretty incredible with Bloodflame Blade, Heavy Affinity, a lot of AR, and then of course we're using a decent amount of buffs. I'll go over that after the equipment and whatnot. Yeah, this ended up turning out better than expected, so I put it ahead of the Darkmoon Greatsword. Darkmoon Greatsword used to be a top 5 weapon for me, but now it's probably just inside the top 20 after the recent nerfs, or nerfs that weren't too long ago. I think it was 1.12 or 1.13. So I put the Beast Claws at number 1 here because they ended up shredding a fair bit on Mesmer, ultimately getting a decent amount of bleed procs and a good amount of physical damage too. I think you're going to be impressed trying out this build for the Beast Claws. And it's one of those DLC weapons that is quite good. I've used it a fairly decent amount, and I don't think you'll be disappointed with this one. Let's jump into equipment here in a second. Stats, everything you need to know for a powerful Beast Claws build. And we have the Heavy Beast Claws +25. We are using Bloodflame Blade. We have the Dragon Communion Seal, White Mask, part of the Rakshasa set here. We have Lord of Blood's Exaltation, Millicent's Prosthesis, Wingsword Insignia, or Rotten Wingsword Insignia is better if you have it, Shard of Alexander, Thorny Tier, Bloodsucking Crack Tier. You could hit 51 Poise with this build, of course, as well. Let's jump into stats. And we have 60 Vigor, 19 Mind, 28 Endurance, 66 Strength, 17 Dexterity, 25 Faith, so we use our buffs, 10 Arcane for Bloodflame Blade. We have Golden Vow, Flame Grant Me Strength, Blessings Boon, and of course, Bloodflame Blade. And thanks for watching this one. Thanks for tuning in to my top 9 fun and powerful builds that you guys requested. These were pretty much all build requests like the one from last week. If you have more build requests, be sure to comment below so I know what to make for my upcoming videos. I really enjoy doing these, and I feel like I said this in my last video, it gets me a little bit closer to the community as well. Be sure to sub. Don't forget to sub if you like Elden Ring content. I did the Dark Souls 3 starter guide yesterday. Should be up the day before this one. I'll put that in the description as well, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.